Welcome to Back Alley Bonsai. Today in the alley, going to be working on this Japanese boxwood, which I've had for a couple of years. It's one of several boxwoods that I own. A lot of dead leaves in it, holy crud. A little spider whom I actually don't want to hurt. So I'm going to be doing just kind of a general trim on it. It's time to prune it up and get it back into shape. So I will be right back in a moment. I'll give you guys kind of a nice close-up shot of it as I work on it and show you some of the things that I'm doing. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on the video, comment down below if you have any questions or anything. That really all helps me out. So I will see all of you in just a moment. So I guess as usual, a little bit of background on this. I got this at a regular old nursery. It was two little trees in the pot. So I got two boxwoods for the price of one. These are very common decorative plants around Los Angeles. They are also pretty common in the Los Angeles area, like bonsai nurseries. You see them basically everywhere. They're pretty hardy. They're normally grown just as bushes, but they make pretty good little trees. You can see I got a nice little trunk line on this one. Some nice little root flare going on down here at the base. So I really do like this tree a lot. So I'm going to start off with just some really basic stuff, just real quickly, kind of cutting it into sort of a triangular cone shape, just to get its profile sorted out before I get too deep in the weeds on things like branch selection. We'll get to that in a moment, but for now it's just going to be that. Get it back to its tree-like profile here. All right. Okay. So it's already looking a bit more like a little tree. As you can see, it's really healthy. It's really grown in. We got lots and lots of branches, lots of ingrowth, lots of budding on the inside. So I need to do a lot of cleanup on this tree to get it to be presentable again. So, as always, we're going to start off by looking for branches that I know for a fact I don't need, because that helps to simplify the problem. So, I don't necessarily need this little branch growing out right here. I've got this nice big branch. This is basically growing in its armpit, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that out of there altogether. Just don't need it. Let's see. What else do I got that's really just not helping things? I can see in here there's a lot of growth on the inside. This tree did get attacked by rats last year, and so a lot of branches kind of came off that I would have otherwise liked to keep. So like this one here got destroyed and kind of left me with a bit of a stump on the inside there without really much to show for it. I've got a little branch that's kind of trying to come back from it, but I'm just not sure that it's really worth the effort. It still looks really congested. Everything's kind of growing upwards. So I'm going to go and remove all of it. There we go. Now that opens it up quite a bit. Let's see what's next. You know, it's easy to get kind of lost on these and feel like, oh, I've got so many things going on. Take off some dead branches, take off some downward growth from the bottom. Trees don't naturally grow downward. There's another downward facing branch I'm going to take off. It's not a normal growth pattern, more downward growth. Bushes obviously will do it. Trees do it, you know, every once in a while, but it's not sort of what you think of when you think of a tree. So now that little branch growing in kind of a weird little armpit. Take that out of there as well. Let's see, so this one's just kind of a dead end. I'll cut that back. What else we got going on? Got a lot of stuff that's growing straight up on the inside here. Like this branch right here is just going straight up, and this one's just growing straight up into the branches above it. That way I can create this sort of like empty space, this two-layer effect going on with it by getting rid of some of these upward turning branches in favor of more horizontal or downward growth. So the downward facing branch up there. And over time, this will sort of mature out into what's called a pad, which is where this will be its own sort of cluster of growth. Let's see. Let's get rid of, again, just cleaning out some stuff out of the inside. I know you can't really see it very well, but just gonna listen to me narrate it. Here's another little one, some more weaker growth that's growing on the inside that isn't really visible or contributing. Hey, Herschel. My little dog has come to visit. I think he has stepped on a pine needle, judging by the way that he's limping. I will be back, so I can figure out what's going on with my dog. Okay, I'm back. He did indeed step on a pine needle. I got stuck between his toes. He is okay though, for those of you guys who are concerned about him. He's a bit of a baby. All right, some more crossing growth. I want to kind of get rid of and open up. What I'm trying to do is kind of open up the space now in between these two low branches so that they are more distinct individually. Here are some more dead ends. And then I'm going to take a lot of this and just cut it back short. Looking for places where there's 2 leaves, 2 leaves, 2 leaves. Every time you cut back to 2 leaves, that is a place where it will branch out. And every time you get branching, that of course is going to be more opportunities for ramification, more choices, better looking branch structure. So I'll cut that back to 2 leaves. And by 2 leaves, I basically mean a pair of leaves. Either 1 pair of leaves or 2 pairs of leaves. Because these, I'll show you what this looks like really close. So these boxwoods, they grow out in these pairs, and these pairs alternate in direction. So they'll go, you know, these ones are going left and right, and these ones are going forward and back, or up and down and left and right. They're basically perpendicular to each other. And wherever you cut back to, that's the direction that the branch is going to grow out. So if, for example, I cut back to left and right branches, or left and right leaves, it will start putting out branches to the left and to the right. Some more inward facing branches I don't really need. So I'll take off. So these ones are just going straight up. Straight up is not really the direction I want. I think this branch here is actually growing too strongly, so I'm going to cut it all the way back. Take that off. And I'm going to cut it back to a little leaf node right there. And we'll take this off. There we go. So now we've got, this will be a new spot for it. And we can see here these two are conflicting with each other, which I don't really like. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And I don't really need this little branch right there. Let's take that off completely. Actually, you know what? I've got a little bud right there on that branch, so we'll take that branch off to there. Let that grow out. So there's another inward branch. There's a weak branch on the inside I don't really need. They're not going to show up visually very well. Some more growth inside the crotches and the armpits. Take those out. Get them out of the way. This branch here is really long and really straight. You can see right here, which I don't really like. It's too straight for what's going on with it. I could wire it, but I'm not really wiring this tree. I'm doing more of what's called a clip and grow style on it. I do wish I had a couple of branches coming out on this side, but I don't. I've got this one and I've got this one, but both of those grow inward. And that's partly because they were getting shaded up by this branch right here. So maybe I'll get lucky here in the near future. Got a little bud back here, but it's, you know, kind of at a weird join, which I don't really want. Yeah. No really good options, unfortunately. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it back to here and see if I get lucky with this branch that's forming there. And again, this one's got kind of the same problem. It's big and long, but it fortunately has some branches growing in interesting directions underneath. So there's a nice one there. I am going to cut this one back. And I'm going to cut this one back to that parallel is right there. And take out this little bitty one. And here's another interesting thing to kind of point out. I don't know how well you can see this. But alternating leaf patterns. So as the branch comes out, one branch goes out that side, the next branch goes out that side, the next branch kind of goes that direction. So that's kind of the hope. I'm gonna cut this stub back a little bit further. Just tidy it up a bit, hopefully without damaging the branch. Here we go. And this one we'll cut back to actually there. There we go. Okay. And same process. Taking out some inside branches. This is all getting very, very congested and clustered. Because we are approaching towards the top of the tree, I want to kind of favor weaker growth. There's a big thick branch growing right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that off completely. It's a stub of a branch right there, which I'll take off. And then other than that, here's one where I've got 3 growing out of the same spot, basically. I'm going to take out the middle one on this. Boom. Another little one coming out of the armpit right there. Take that out. The rest of these, I'm just going to cut back to a couple pairs of leaves. That's, and like that. And this one, again, you can see it's kind of starting to shoot straight up and interfere with the branch directly above it. And it's not doing anything all that interesting, but there's plenty of good buds below it. So I'm going to cut back to there. And take off that, and hopefully we start to get some good growth out of that moving forward. Moving up to this branch right here. Again, it's a really strong growing branch. Well, let's again do the same thing. Let's start off by taking out some of this weaker inside growth. It isn't necessarily doing what I want. That's all growing straight up. And this is not the apex of my tree, so I don't really need that. This branch here is actually growing straight up and backwards. This one here is growing into the structure of the tree, so I don't really want that. Let's see. There's a bunch of stuff growing out right here. I've got this branch directly on top of this branch, which is also sort of on top of this branch. Now I'm going to favor the weaker branch at this point of the tree. So there we go. And again, just gonna flip it back to a couple of leaf buds. Hopefully do some directional pruning. Hopefully getting growth in a direction that I like. And then moving up to this one, again, just a real cluster of leaves, which is good, you know, it's a healthy tree. But it's got too much stuff going on. And again, this is the very top of the tree. So again, I'm gonna start off by, so I want to favor the weaker branches at this point. And I got a lot of just inside growth, stuff that's just growing inside, crossing over other branches. The nice thing about boxwoods is you really can kind of go through and just pull off a bunch of leaves and generally be okay. They recover pretty well from some pretty harsh treatment. Okay. So what do I want to do? Well, let's look at this branch right here. Again, we basically have three. You got one, it starts off at one down here, and then it splits into two, splits again, and then these two rapidly split. So I'm going to take out that one. And again, now I've got a whole bunch of stuff kind of growing in this little armpit area, which I'm going to take out. And then I'm going to take out this one. I'm going to cut that back. And this I'm going to take back to here and cut that back to a couple of leaf buds. Cut that back to a couple of leaf buds. And then this other one, again, I want to kind of favor the weaker growth. So first things first, Take that big one out of the middle. Don't necessarily want this vertical branch growing, so I'll take that out. And that simplifies that quite a bit. Take out this little one right here. Again, one growing in the armpit, take that out. And then just simplify this by cutting it back a bit to a couple of leaf buds. Okay, and now we can come up to our apex and we can see all of the growth going on up here at the top. It's got one really strong branch that's basically just going straight up. So I'm actually going to cut that off, try and create a new leader for the plants, which now means it'll be one of these other slightly smaller branches. I got a million of them coming out right here, so I'm going to take off this one. Probably actually just cut it all the way back to this one right here. And I'm not going to have much left when I'm done with it, but I will hope to sort of balance out some of the energy on this tree. I'm worried that this leader is getting too strong. I'm going to leave it for now. I may change it later. We'll see. But I'm going to cut back some of these branches. There's a lot of growth going on right here. So I'm going to cut it back to 2. Take out that one. Lots of growth in these little armpits. Take some of that out. Because this is a bush, it'll bud back everywhere, and it wants to push out any growth where there is sunlight, basically. I'm going to take out this one. And I'm going to cut this back to here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So let me sit down and take a quick twirl of it. Yeah, pretty hard pruning on this little boxwood, but mostly just taking out a whole bunch of growth that was preventing other growth that I would prefer to have. So it's well on its journey. I think if I were to pick a front for the tree, probably be about there. Go back in here with my concave pruners and clean this up just a little bit more. There we go. And that should heal over nicely. I think that's probably the front of the tree right there. And you can kind of see what it's doing there as a tree. And you can see how each of these individual little pads is going to form up over time and kind of grow into itself as it matures. But there we go. Well, all right, everybody. That is it for trimming up my Japanese boxwood. Thank you very much for your time. As always, hit the subscribe button. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. And as always, have yourselves a wonderful day.